Vet Runners, welcome back. Welcome to the Vet Run podcast. On today's episode, we've got none other than a fellow Talbot Harriers runner, Evan Smith. Welcome, Evan.
Hello.
Good. So, with every podcast, I'm going to kick it off with a quick fire round, a quick fire quiz. 5 questions, 1-word answers, and they're nice and simple. And it's surprising to see the difference on what people actually say, really. So the first question is, do you work in miles or kilometers?
Miles.
So I'm kilometers. Do you prefer road or trail?
Trail.
Favorite running show?
Okatora 2.
Nice. If you were to go for a recovery, would it be chocolate milk or something savory?
Chocolate milk, definitely. It's got to be.
Same. And then the last one is, what is your ultimate race? I already know this, but the podcast, the viewers won't.
Oh, for those who do not know me, UTMB is the ultimate race for me. So
perfect. There we are. Quick fire quiz. So just for you guys to get to know Evan a little bit more, understand that he works in miles. UTMB is his biggest goal, and like me, chocolate milk is his go-to. So what I like to do, Evs, is with everybody in the podcast, is take it back right to the start of your running journey. So where and when did you start running, and what got you into running?
I think it was just a matter of curiosity. I think that's genuinely how it started. It wasn't just a typical, I got to do this for charity and all that sort of stuff. It's none of that at all. That just came into it later on. I think it kind of started with a curiosity. I think it started back in 2015. I was in my final year in college, and my dad essentially basically said, the Beast of Bryn is happening soon. And I'm like, looks kind of interesting. And I didn't know it was a trail, so I thought it was just a race. I thought, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, let's just do it. Let's just see what it occurs. And it's ironic that the first race is a trail race. It's not like a flat road race or anything like that. It's perfectly trail. So I turned up that day. So I was like, right, okay, it's the first race. So, we're just going to go for it and see what happens. And obviously the first runner I encountered was Chris Lewis from the Harriers. He was the first person I bumped into. And he told me about the Harriers, but I didn't join until much later on. But anyway, back to this. So that was ironically the same year when the kids went missing in the Beast of Bryn. That was the first race. We were waiting around for, it was maybe a good hour or two until someone said, by the way, the kids have gone missing. They've gone off the actual route and they did the whole 10K. So I was just like, right. So that was just how we started, really. But so I did it in probably less than an hour for the first race, a trail. That is something.
Yeah, I tell you what, for the viewers that are not from our area. So luckily enough, I know Evan through Talbot Harriers, which is a local running club, and the Beast of Bryn is probably not your first race to enter. It's definitely not your one for your first timers. When Evan says it's a trail race, it is brutal. It's not called the Beast for nothing. And they stopped it.
Yeah, what happened was, so after the race, so coming to it in a minute. So when I did the race, I did it about, say, less than an hour. And I think it was like 50 degrees or it must be 20. It was a brutally hot summer day. It's gorgeous though, I'm not going to lie. But so I did it. So that's my first 10K. Well, technically it's a 7 mile up, but I was like, okay with that. So the news started to pick up the story of the missing kids. I think it was a day or two after the race happened. So it was covered in the local Welsh press and everything like that.
Yeah.
We got the Evening Post. I don't know what is like over there. Western Mail, I think it was called. Don't quote me on this. And then the Daily Mail picked up on it and you could tell immediately that everyone in England must have known about this. So that was officially the last time the Beast of Britain actually happened. So what happened was it just completely disappeared. It just completely faded into non-existence. And so as just time goes by, and a lot of people just like, oh, that's a bit of a bummer, but it's now my playground really. So I was like, I couldn't care less. So 2017, well, I think it was 2017, I think, oh no, sorry, we'll go too far on me. So the same people who did the Beast of Britain, they now started up a company, I think it was called Vitality or something like that, right? So this was now into, well, I didn't come to them until 2017. But they were responsible for the hawker in Margam. And so what happened with them was, so it went all right. But again, there was another issue that happened, which is the land drovenism that happened during the Celtic Welsh races. One of the boys, James Lawson, who we both know, did it. So the land drover incident happened, and obviously, yeah, it just kind of like started to really turn on itself, really. So I think realistically, that stopped happening in Margam, and now we're starting to see it happen in the Tomar area.
Yeah.
Where the Potomac areas used the Hilly 5 race. And it was kind of like, I did the route. It was basically, it's kind of like a Frankenstein route of the Hilly 5 and the Potomac half marathon.
Combined together.
Yeah, combined together. But there's a little section at the top, which is the coolest section, which is some people refer to it as the hammer. That section basically takes you to the massive overlook of the Avon section where there's a couple of pubs and towards Glencorrigway.
Well, I've never done Hilly 5, so...
Yeah, so the Hilly 5 is where it's the Potomac Harriers race.
Yeah.
And I've marshaled it several times in the past.
Yeah.
Never really did it as a race because, they always need marshals, and that's kind of my responsibility, really. So I never did that, but it is part of my playground, so to speak. But we'll get into that a little bit later on.
100%. Before we progress into your running career, you've already stated that you wasn't with the Harriers till much later, and that your dad suggested that this would be a good race. How did you train for it?
Actually, it wasn't structured at all. I mean, this is a newbie. First rule of running is, if you're doing a race, have a good structure of training. Don't end up like this newbie who probably 6 years ago doesn't even know the ins and outs of running. So I just kind of run the miles and just build the mileage up. But I didn't know anything like speed or tempo or anything like that. That I was introduced to that when I joined the Harriers a year later.
How long did you train for that event before? So when your dad said, "Oh, this event is coming up," how long was it before you started training?
It must have been a good month or two. So maybe about I say a month at the minimum. This is going so far back as to say 6 years.
Yeah.
The recording.
Was you into any other sport, fitness, or was this just?
No, I think I remember doing cross country when I was back in school, but that's just donkeys years ago.
Yeah.
But I think I definitely enjoyed the trail running after that, even though I wasn't that too much into it, and just enjoyed the atmosphere and everything like that. But it took me at maximum 2 months to train for that event. But it wasn't like as structured as some of the top athletes would.
Yeah.
It was just run, essentially. That was kind of the one thing on your mind.
Yeah. So obviously, having done the Beast of Britain, and being a beginner, you probably didn't really know that it wasn't much more difficult to come after it. What was your next race that you stepped into?
Okay, so kind of like now coming into 2016, I think actually, we might still be in 2015. I definitely did the Richard Burton run. This was kind of like towards the end of 2015. I think I did the Richard Burton run. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head because it goes so far back. But I did the Richard Burton run twice. I think one time I did it for a charity, for youth club I used to serve. And I think it was then another, I just kind of did it. It's just like, I'm just going to just do this for the sake of it. But I couldn't remember if it was the Richard Burton run, which it most likely could, or maybe towards into 2016, I think that was when the Swansea Half Marathon happened. And still, I was not with the Harriers at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't join until maybe late 2016 at the latest, just before the Cardiff Half Marathon kicked off.
So what was it that made you join the Harriers? Was it seeing Chris Lewis, or was it something else?
No, it wasn't really that. I think, again, it was my parents, really. I think they were the big driving force of my transcendence into running.
Yeah.
I think they said, just go and join the club and just give it a try and see what happens. And what's interesting about it was it wasn't my first time to the Harriers. I remember going to a session before I went to uni. So this happened maybe about 2014, 2015-ish, something like that.
Yeah.
So the first person I met was obviously Paul Rees.
Yeah.
I keep referring to as Dr. Rees or Professor Rees, whatever it is, because if you look at his Twitter feed, it's literally non-stop stuff about nutrition and ketogenic diets and whatnot.
Yeah.
He's the first person I met. So I went with group 4.
Yeah.
That's kind of a bit of a bold move, considering the fact that
for a newbie.
For newbie, where I could have maybe gone to group 3 or 2, or definitely not 1. I mean, I'm a little bit higher up.
Yeah.
But group 4, I think, was when I first came in.
Yeah,
it was a really tough session. So the first session we did was we went over to the track nearby a school by Baglan, where my sister used to go to school. And it was a brutal training session. Like, I really was pushing it to the limit. But, it's like after that, I then started to become a little bit more interactive with the club and just keep going to these sessions.
Because sorry to interrupt, but like you just mentioned there, for some people, that initial leap of, do you know what, building up the courage to go to a running club where you think they're a complete beginner is massive. It's a massive step. And to take that lightheartedly, I think should be commended, because running clubs, I think, throughout the valleys and especially like throughout the UK, would be massively overpopulated if more people actually built up the confidence and gone, do you know what, I'm going to take the step and actually go to club, because it's a big thing.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much right. I mean, what I notice is if people don't run with the clubs, are not usually as faster or much more stronger than the runners who are actually as part of the club.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely a factor. I mean, if you want to if you're more in depth and more interested in the running, I would suggest you train with the club. Because they can bring you up to a standard that you may not think is generally possible.
Yeah, and not only that, like the other benefits that come with it, like we've met through a running club.
Yeah.
The community that you form through a running club, your mates, like we've been to many races together. We always stay in touch. So I think the benefits far outweigh the negatives in which somebody might think that going to a running club is going to be stressful or is going to be overwhelming. The benefits far outweigh it, in my opinion. So if you are out there and you are considering going, or you haven't got the confidence, take that step. Like, you don't have to go and enter the highest groups. There will be certain groups for your ability, and it's just finding, and then you can always move up or down. There's no restrictions in keeping you in that group.
I would say the best advice I could give is that if you want to join a club, first of all, get to know your ability, get to know yourself first. Maybe take a couple of minutes every time of your day, sit yourself down, nothing in the background, and just think, what is my running level at? Maybe you can determine it by your 5K time. Maybe if you've done like a 3-miler, we call 5K time trial or whatever. Or you could just determine, say, how much do you work out during the week? Do you maybe work out, say, twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, or if you go higher, you can go 6. But you really need to get to know yourself first, because that information does become helpful to the coach. So, like, right, okay, we can shove you in this group, or maybe we can shove you in that group. So that's the first advice I can definitely recommend. And secondly, just don't be afraid. I mean, the coaches are there to help you progress and to make it comfortable. Let them do the job, and you're away with it. Yeah,
exactly that. Right, let's talk about when we first met then. So I joined the Harriers 18 was it?
Oh
2018.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
This must be when we were group 6 or something like that.
Yeah, so
Or
I
maybe,
joined the group. I joined the Harriers 2018. You would moved up to group 5.
that's right.
And then we went to somewhere down west, Llanmaddoch, is it?
Yeah,
Llanmaddoch.
this was actually doing cross country season.
Yes,
I
that was
remember
it.
because
Yeah,
I did my uncle number
yeah,
before the end.
that's it. Yeah. So we actually traveled down together. And from there, I think, and I don't know what contributed to it. Maybe you can add, but your progression in running just rocketed. Like from that moment on, from like late 2018, your progression. So when was the cross country season? September?
I think so. Yeah, I think it always starts in September and then
Yeah.
it just runs past through Christmas.
Yeah,
because
and
you've
then
got so many Christmas runs.
just after Christmas, you were smashing sub 6, group 6, sub 25K.
Yeah, and that was last of it. Yeah, so I think it started from when I did the first marathon back in 2018, and this was with the Great Welsh Marathon that started on the Millennium Coastal Path in Connecticut. I know my Welsh is absolutely rubbish at this. When I did that about 4 hours 33.
Yeah,
for my
and
first
that's
ever
your first
marathon.
marathon.
First ever marathon, and I was doing it for charity. Originally, I was meant to be doing London, but there was a couple of behind the scenes stuff that happened in the background, and basically, I took a decision to say, right, okay, I'm going to do the Great Welsh, and I'm just going to help the local Welsh youth club, called Neath Youth Troop. If you guys haven't heard of it, that was organised by my speech therapist, who basically helped me a lot during the school days, because I'm autistic, so go figure. But yeah, I think it started from the first marathon, and then I think it totally changed. My mindset started to think, could we go maybe faster? Could we go maybe a bit higher? Could we go higher and higher? I didn't do anything in 2018 until I did what was it called? The Amateur 10K on my birthday.
I remember that one.
So I did that on my birthday. That was the first official race since the marathon. And it was scorching. I mean, we're talking about really like maybe 50 degrees Celsius, which I thought, oh, God, there's no way I could finish this, but I did eventually. Yeah, and then we met, and then we went down first time towards probably my first cross country, actually, thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's maybe school. And I remember you shot off.
Yeah.
I remember you shot off. I was somewhere in the middle, and all I can remember was just sand dunes, and there's a couple of sea levels and all of that.
Yeah.
And then as I was coming back, I twisted my ankle.
Yeah.
How I sprinted with that to the finish, I never know. I just literally just kept going, and I just sprinted towards the finish, and then I was like, oh God, this is really hurting.
Yeah, it was difficult terrain as well.
Oh, it was difficult terrain. We're talking about sand dunes and things like that. Sand is the worst of
it's horrible
terrains to run. And I have to be doing that, which we'll talk about later on anyway.
Yeah.
But so I did a number on my ankle, and 2019, I think, was definitely, I think, my running just skyrocketed faster. So I knew immediately that I wasn't going to go for round 2 of the marathon, and my aim was to really boost up my time. So before that, I'm like, right, okay, I want to sign up to a couple of a trilogy by Front Runner that included Connecticut Half in the February, so this is in the winter. Then the Great Welsh Half Marathon, which is a smaller version of the marathon size I did in 2018. And then that was, I think, somewhere in April or May time. And then the Newport Marathon happened. And then after that, then Swansea.
Yeah.
So I did 1:44 at the Connecticut Half. which is a big of a boost time to compared to the last time I was there back in 2018.
And it's quite a windy course in it, Fnethley.
It's because you're so out in the open. All the wind
Really
direction
exposed.
just comes out everywhere.
Yeah.
Like the only way you can probably gain your momentum is if you're shielded from a building.
Yeah.
And, I can't remember what the place was. There's a massive car park and it was like a bridge.
Yeah.
There, I think it might be a 360 centre like Swansea has down in the bay.
Yeah.
So I did that in about 1:44.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is really good start. PB, already a good start to the season. So the Great Welsh Half comes along, and that was probably my favourite race out of the three.
Yeah.
Again, out in the open, but it's very, very quick. If the wind is in the right direction and it's against your back, you're going to go very, very fast in maybe the first 5 miles. I did that in 1:41.
Yeah.
That's
so another PB.
That's another PB straight away.
Yeah.
So, and then a week before the marathon, I was like, right, I'm going to get the body solve in and just loosen my legs up. So at that moment, my anxiety levels were just shooting for the roof. I'm like, oh God, like this is really going to, this is going to be a really tricky one to deal with. Because I'm looking at the course now and I'm thinking, oh God, I'm not going to lie, it's not going to be as tough as the Great Welsh Marathon, but I'm like, how am I going to pull this off? I got to get below sub 4 hours. And obviously, like I said, my bestie always gives the best talks, Catherine. So she always gives the best talks and whatnot. So I kept her in mind. So I went into Newport Marathon, and already the place was crammed. I think I tagged it up a ride with some figures.
Yeah.
So I went up there, and it was just jam-packed, like literally jam-packed. So as we go into the pens, I'm like, right, okay, I think I was definitely the second pen, because you got the leads first and then you got the pens before. So I was going at the really good pace. So I was kind of going like, say, 8s, which I thought was a good pace enough to start on. The best advice I could give to anyone who's a marathon runner is the first mile always lies to you. Just keep it in mind. As long as you keep a good pace, you should be fine.
Yeah.
So then as we're getting along, I was like, right, okay, I'm doing incredibly well. So I'm definitely on track. And then the last few miles happened, and oh my God, my cars were literally starting to seize up. So I thought, I gotta get this done quickly as I can because I'm starting to struggle here. So I finished the marathon in 3 hours 51. That's 40 minutes plus. That's definitely 40 minutes plus the PB time I did in 2018, which
Mad.
is just, it's mad, but it's really come down to good training. And I got to thank Paul Jerry for that one, because he's been really awesome with me from start to finish in terms of the marathon cycle. Training with him and Bernie and all the other Group 6 boys, it really brought the pace in and the speed up to a new game.
40 minutes is huge, like massive gain. So when you come into the marathon distance, usually once you've done one or two, the PBs are a couple of minutes here or there. To take off 40 minutes is just unbelievable.
Especially like if it's a second marathon. Like the first marathon, you can just use as a building block. Yeah. Figure, right, okay, I know where I am, but can I go up there? And the answer is yes, you can. But it's really hard work to get up there.
And isn't Newport, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Newport like a country lane one?
It's a bit of a tricky one. So you start in the city, and then you're basically just starting to come out of the city and go into the countryside. You come across a couple of villages, which is really nice because it's moral support is there. But there's one section of the course which I really caution a lot of people who may want to do it this year, is that there's a section where it just goes on and on and on and on. Yeah. And yeah, it was a really tough one to keep going because like the sun was beaming down. I know that I'm tired. I'm starting to maybe lose a bit of mentality momentum there. Yeah. So I was just like, right, I just got to keep pushing forward. And my best tip is try to work off other people for that particular section. Just keep working off it. Yeah. If you can. But yeah, you really need to kind of push forward mentally to get to the other side, which is like when you get to the other side, there's a church and there's a small little village there, and then you start to come back into the city then.
Yeah.
And
that's when I suppose the support comes again, is it, and sort of picks you up.
Yeah, I mean it's in various different points of the route, so it's quite tricky. Like it's not like the Swansea half marathon where it's people constantly cheering you on. There are obviously breaks in between.
What are you using to fuel? Yeah, at this stage, early in the game, what are you using to fuel your marathons?
I use the high five gels because that was the only thing I knew that my body has a good reaction to it.
Now that's a key point there, right there. What you've just said, you've trained with it.
If you train with it and the body's connected really well with it, then it keeps you going. Use it.
Yeah.
Like I said, because that was the most important thing you need to do. If you want to get to like a PB level, you need to really get your nutrition right before jumping on. Because I cannot see you running 26 miles without any gels or carbohydrates.
No, definitely don't try anything new.
No, especially not a week before. That's just a fool there.
Or like I did. I tried shot blocks on my 3-hour attempt and I'd cramped for mile 24 and ended up running 3:01. But there we are. That's another story.
That's another story. Yeah, for another time.
So we've covered the marathons. Where do we dive in? Where do we dive into the ultras? And
right, okay. So after the Newport Marathon, I did the Swansea half, and that was the final trilogy. Again, it was humid and everything like that, so I didn't get PB for that one.
Wasn't one of them cancelled? I remember you waiting for the trilogy. You couldn't do one of them or something. Is that right?
No, actually, it wasn't. No. So the Swansea half marathon went ahead. Yeah. This was still back in 2019.
Yeah.
Coming off the Newport Marathon, I was so happy. But when I finished the Swansea half, I did 141. So I didn't get the 139 I wanted to make a perfect trilogy.
Yeah.
And so I was just miffed. But Bernie gave me a really good tip. If you're doing a race week, bank your sleep, because what happened is, but the night before your race, what happens is your mind is going to be ticking all over. You just think, oh my god, stressing out. Bank your sleep a few days before, because you're not going to get any sleep the night before you race. Do that, and I think you'll get a lot of good energy for that, and you can use the nervousness and harness it to work to your advantage.
So Bernie's our coach.
Yep.
For people 6. Watching, he's mine and Evan's coach in Group 6, and phenomenal runner. And still at his age now, he's putting out some fast miles, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like what, 74, 75?
I don't know his age. I don't know his age. Yeah.
I know he's definitely in his 70s, but I can't remember the specific number for it.
Yeah, and he is still banging out some fast miles. So he's
the fact that he's done like what, 10 marathons throughout his lifetime.
Yeah.
I mean, that's way more than what I can do. And I done 2.
Yeah.
Only done 2, but yeah.
So obviously you've finished the trilogy. What I want to go into now is your step up to the ultra, and as Evan alluded to earlier in the chat, Evan's path to running is made somewhat more difficult than what somebody else's would be. Do you want to explain why, Ev?
What do you mean now?
With regards to obviously running with autism and your path to ultra marathon.
Can I just finish off 2019 before we can get into the 2020, which is I think is the crucial pinnacle point.
Yeah.
So the 5K summers started to hit. So I did the round 2 because I didn't do round 1. I did about 20:48.
Is this the Talbot areas now? The one every month?
It's Run for All. So Run for All usually do have a trilogy in the summer.
Yeah.
So I did the second one, I think, in 20 minutes, 48 seconds. So I'm like, right, okay. I was a bit miffed. I was a few seconds off. I think it was like 20 minutes, 18 or something like that. The third one, I did it about sub 20.
On the course. This is on the course, yeah?
Yeah, again. So like literally on Aberafan Beach, I literally just smashed it in the final one. And then I think before going to the ultra, something happened. I think I was more So I started to grow a lot more bored of the races that's happening around locally, because I'm like, well, I've done this before. Like, I don't want to do it again. So there was a race that was very, very interesting to me called the Narberth Nobler. If anyone hasn't done it, when it's back on, do it. It's a really refreshing event to do one. And I think it's low entry. You get a medal, but you don't get t-shirts, but you can support the organizers for that. I did that. So I did a half marathon called the Hocker. In 2017, I did that in 2 hours 48. I did this one in about 2 hours 14. Just again, PB is just flying over.
Yeah.
It's just thanks to the group 6, they just really bumped me up a bit. So I did that, and I became more fascinated in trail. So I did the Roman Run, which happened, I think it was around September time.
Yeah.
That was a 6 miler, which is going higher up. And that was a tough one. That's about 2,000 feet. So I'm just like, what can I do now? And this is, I think, a really horrible period. Was I fell into depression, right? So basically, marathon season's done for this year. But I'm just like, well, what else can I do? So depression is really horrible, because you could just basically lose your sight.
Yeah.
Go reach the top of the mountain, and you just think,
what do I do now?
What do I do now? So it happens to me. So I have to keep going up and up and up. So yeah, the depression hit, and you just kind of lose all your energy. You lose all thing. How I kept going, I don't know. I did get help from Harriers, in all fairness. Bomber, who was just an absolute legend.
Yeah.
He's also an ultra runner as well. He was, actually. And I just highlighted the problem. So I'm just like, and especially with Martin as well. Martin Ice is just amazing.
Yeah.
So he just said, best lesson that I can also give as well is, like, focus on the positives. Don't ignore the negatives around, just focus on the positives, because they're the ones that kind of matter the most. That's the tip. If anyone's struggling out there, maybe the same as me, or just struggling in general, focus on the positives, and because they're the ones that keep you going. So we're now coming into the end of 2019. So Nos Galan, which is definitely by far the last big run I was going to do before setting my mind to the ultra. I remember now, I did it in 1958 was the time. I did it in, say, sub 19. It was 1853 for Nos Galan, and it was the toughest field I've ever been in. Yeah. Talk about these guys. These guys did the winner did it in about 14 minutes.
That is unbelievable, isn't it?
I'm just sitting here like, how was that even possible?
Yeah.
You really have to be working a lot on the track.
Yeah.
And that was just like a perfect way to end 2019. Definitely my best year by far. On New Year's Eve as well. I could have been racing in the morning or somewhere, but I chose to do it on Nos Galan because I knew that was my last chance to do a 5K before I dedicated my mind to the ultra. So now in 2020, so this is where I think it starts to kick in. So you may think, oh, he's autistic, right? Yeah, there's a reason for that. And running is my counterbalance to the autism. So before my journey into running, I was an autistic kid. I was coming out of school, and I barely knew my condition at all. I remember all the stressful times. I usually have meltdowns. I was stressing over things. I was not getting enough sleep. I was worrying too much, and that was what my autism did. And it was like, I can't do anything about that. And I was not mentally okay. Realistically, I keep having meltdowns. I'm just like so worried over and again. Running just cleared it all away. And it's just kind of just like unloosen this little knot that's in your head. I consider running a bit of a cure to my autism because it allows me to think straight, and not only that, it just allows me to live a little bit more stress-free. But I was sitting here like, right, okay, the running it's much more better teacher than, say, school, whatever it was, because you know yourself a bit better. So now we're in 2020. and now I'm digging into the ultras. So the first event I signed up for was with Run Road Crawl, and that was the Vale of Glamorgan.
Yeah.
So 50K. So you kind of start, I think it was in, I can't remember where you starting point now, but your end point is at Orgable by Sea, just outside Porthcawl. That was meant to be happening in March, and well,
the obvious happened.
We all know what happened. It's the big, massive sea. It's coronavirus. So that it was, just literally just called off. So it's like, right, guys, we're pushing it back to the summer. So I thought, okay, at least that's a good idea. So I kept on training. I was working in Philco's during the time of the pandemic. I remember we all literally were locked up in our homes. We didn't know what was going on. So, and I was the only one that probably was working in the, supermarket or whatever, just stocking up. And it was chaos.
Yeah.
Literally chaos. So we come into July. I was coming back from an injury with my runner's knee, it's a horrible thing. So runner's knee, it happens on my left knee, and basically as all the IT bands were tight, and it's like a dagger pain kicking in. So I was coming back from an injury, and then I got a email saying that the ultra's been postponed again because the regulations were running. So I was like, but I was like, it's a godsend. So I was like, if that went ahead, I would have lost 48 quid.
Yeah, you'd have been in trouble. Yeah.
I'd be in really big trouble. So I'm like, okay, this is good send. So they said, right, we're pushing it to October. So I thought, right, okay. So I get my back-to-back runs. I went up to 30 miles. And then this was the pinnacle moment. I think I was starting to think this is not going to work out. Post cancelled now for the third to final time. So they thought, it's like we can't still do it because there was rising cases and X, Y, and Z. And I was just fuming at this point because I'm thinking I spent 10 months of my life training for a race for the first time, going higher, the highest ever been. And this is what comes out. So after talking with Bob, who was my mentor, I went to do a race instead called the Botany's Marathons. Now, if you don't know about that, if anyone's heard about the Barkley Marathons that happens in Tennessee, somewhere out in America, you have to run, say, 5 loops. They're all 26 miles each. And you've got to do it within the cutoff time. You've got to find all the books with the pages that identifies with your bid number, and you've got to bring them back. Not many people actually do the Barkley Marathons or finish it. Only one person I think I know who finished it for that race.
So the guys that are watching, the Barclays Marathon is quite prestigious, and those of you ultra runners are watching. John Kelly finished the Barclays Marathons and is hoping to get back there because obviously the pandemic. What Evan's talking about there, the Bontleys, is a local event which pretty much imitates it. Now, it's something that has probably not been replicated in the UK, whereby you rip a page out of a book, like Evan says, but he'll talk more about it now. It's a very, very unique and tough race.
So the idea of this was, it's a very awesome take on it. So you have to find all the books on the course that's hidden somewhere in the bushes or whatever, and you have to take the page that is specifically to your bid number.
That's mad.
And you reach towards the finish. So they have to check all your pages. So if you miss one page, whatever, I think you get deducted on time or whatever, but you have to find all the pages to continue.
Was it not a part of you who thought, I'm going to take a number, somebody else's number, so when they got there, they were like, where's my page?
I could, but let's be honest, it's not really that necessary. Probably just
that would have been really, really naughty, but fun.
I'll probably get some angry person coming after me, but yeah. So I did that. It was a charity event. So I said, I thought, I'm a little bit I'm still bummed by the ultra. So I thought, let's try do this.
Yeah.
So,
and were you fixed at this point? Were you completely fixed from your injury, or was it something there?
I think this is the thing. So I finished my third loop, And there's a massive slope that goes down. I was like, this is horrible, because I took tumbles all over the place.
Yeah.
I can still feel the IT band muscle in my left knee. So I thought, right, I'm not strong enough to continue. So I thought, do the wise option,
Yeah.
retire at the third loop. So I was like, okay. So I did it was maybe about 15, 14 miles with 3,000 feet of elevation. That's the highest I've ever gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, right, okay. So I know the stuff. I'm looking at this thinking, right, I can't do an ultra in this state. So I got to get even stronger. So as time goes on, I was speaking to Bob, and he said, why not do your own? And this is, I think, is where the big part comes in. So my training route is obviously consistent of the Beast of Britain, Tomar, the Foal, and Dinas. 4 mountains. So I thought, could I do an ultra those 4? And
pick the worst ones.
And the answer was yes, it's possible. So I was marking all the stuff and I was doing preparations. It's 35 miles all the way through, and it's 5,000 feet of elevation. And I was like, right, this is mine. This is absolutely mine. No one's going to take this away from me. This is my route. So I called it the Revenant's Playground, which it makes sense because it's my playground, it's my training ground. It makes total sense. So I was looking at like, when can I do this? So after maybe the 28th mile on the Saturday, and then maybe like 10 on the next day, I'm thinking I'm probably starting uni again in late October. I want to try to get this done before that happens. So I thought, let's stick it to October the 17th and see what happens. And it was like a Saturday.
Yeah.
So as I was planning this, I got a text message from Catherine, my bestie, and she said that obviously I told her the whole thing, and she completely agreed. So she said, "Can I run the last 15 miles with you for support?" And I was like, "Yeah, crack on. You know, it'd probably be better because I know I can handle the first half."
Yeah.
But as soon as I get to the Hocker route, I know that's going to be tougher because it's non-stop climbing towards the wind. So I thought, yeah. And she was the only support I had, realistically, support runner with me, because there's only one I need.
You know?
Yeah. So I thought, right, set that date now to October the 17th. So as I was doing a couple of gear preparations, I thought to myself, I originally thought that this was pretty much my end game. And it probably may be. But I thought, well, I'm not going to let the COVID nor the council, or whatever reason, rob me of my ultra. So like, this is mine. So that's what we're going to do. So originally, I started off about, say, 7:30 in the morning. And this was at Wildbrook. So I was going to Beast of Brent. So I did the 6.8 miler. I was coming down towards the finish line of where it was kind of was, or start line where it was. And I was like, right, okay, now I'm going to the second half of the Beast of Britain, which is the fun bit. You just keep going up. And I was just climbing the last mountain on the way up. I noticed James Lawson and his 2 daughters, all with signs and everything like that, just screaming.
That's amazing.
And I was just like, you cannot top that. You can't even top that. So, oh, my phone's going off. Oh my God. So as I was going past them, you know, they just say "oosh" or whatever. "Oosh" is James's motto. Like, "oosh." So as I was coming down, and I was coming towards Avanargoid, and I was coming by the bike center. So my dad said, right, we're going to meet you at the Wrestling car park. So I was down there. I was about 10 minutes early. So I was like, right, okay, I'm probably gone a little bit too fast, but I'm going to probably end up paying for it. So I was topping up. Catherine and the boyfriend turned up and just to check on me. And I was not 100% sure when to best time to meet up, because I'm not sure what state I'll be in as soon as I start climbing.
Yeah.
And so I didn't meet her until maybe about an hour and a half, maybe hour 45 minutes up there, because my legs are just really tired. So, but I was coming down and I was like, yeah, okay. So I met her at Bryn Bedros and we just continued from there. That was like the last 15 miles. So I was at mile 20
when you met. Yeah.
Met her. And so as we were heading towards the fall, I was like, right, okay, last 2 mountains. But the fall was the one I think that really killed me the most.
Yeah.
Because I haven't eaten in so long. I just continue drinking. And I was like, I haven't eaten in so like a few hours. I'm like, God, what? I need to keep. That's a big no-no.
Yeah.
That's a big no-no. It's like if you haven't eaten like in a few hours, just eat something quick because it will come back to bite you, and it did. So as we got to the fall, I'm looking and like, right, okay, Dina's is the last one standing. Daniel's going to be really decent and so forth. So in all fairness, like I said, I was really knackered at this point. So I was actually sitting up by the one of the trig points. It's what the highest elevation was. And I was a caffeine fair play just kept me going. Like if I didn't have it, I probably would have
binned it. Yeah.
I'd probably do it, but I wouldn't have kept going the way she kept me pushing. So in all fairness to her. So we come down from the fall, past a couple of farms and just onto the road. And now we're on to Dean's, right? Okay, so I got to do maybe 2 loops of this. So as we did the first loop, and this is the first time I think I took her up Dina's, and she was just mind blown, right? So it's like, it was a gorgeous sunny day, and you could see the entire Potorba. So Dina's is the mountain that you overlook the entire town of Potorba. If you haven't been to it, definitely check it out. It's definitely worth the one. So I did my first loop, and then we went back up and did the second loop. So at this point, I practically done 50K. So I was like 32 miles, but I'm still not finished yet.
Yeah.
So as we were coming down to the other side of Dinas, I kept going, and then I picked my momentum up. I'm like, oh my God, I'm feeling really good now. I'm like, I can actually do this.
Yeah.
Going down, and I finished at Tesco Garage. And immediately I'm like, I actually did it. This is my baby now. And that took me about 7.5 hours to finish.
That's awesome. Especially with that elevation. Yeah.
With that elevation as well, I'm like, oh my God, I've actually, I did it. And I was very close to crying, but somehow I didn't. I fair play to Kath. She just gave me just like a massive bottle of Prosecco.
Yeah.
It's like, yes.
Exactly what you need after an ultra.
Definitely worth it for. But so after that, I was like, yeah, this is totally it. And it was just a phenomenal feeling. But then I think everything changed from that point. So like, there's no going back now.
That's it now. Yeah.
And then I was looking around and I was like, can I go higher? And this was like a few days after my ultra. I was like, can I actually go higher?
It's a devilish thing, isn't it?
You wouldn't be thinking about that naturally, but with me,
it's a devilish thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you would.
I don't know how it catches you. You finish an ultra, and like throughout the ultra, you're thinking, oh, this is the worst pain ever. I'm not doing this again. You finish your ultra, a day later, you're like, oh, where's the next race? What's next?
Yeah, but with me, it took me a few days. And I'm like, oh, can we go higher? Can we go maybe 40 miler? So I was looking around and I was like, it's not just like 50K. We could go even higher than that. So I'm like, right, 50 miler is my next job for next year, 2021. So at that point, I fell injured again. Something called the Achilles tendonitis, which is caused by weakness of the calf. And there's like, that makes sense because realistically, I did a 35-mile ultra.
Yeah.
I'm like, it does make sense. And I was so frustrated. I was like, I was stuck with uni work. I was stressing out. I was just suffering from overwhelmed and sometimes even mental breakdowns.
And do you know what? Running's been your getaway as well. It's been your release. And if you can't do that, you're going to go deeper.
Yeah, it's going to get worse. And not that, it's my cure for my autism, realistically.
Yeah.
So it has been. I know people say there's a few cures. You got your acceptance, your love, and your understanding. And that's definitely true.
Yeah.
But realistically, I think mentally, I'm like, running is who I am. And I wouldn't be here today without it. And, geez. So it took me a while to get over. I probably didn't even recover till maybe before Christmas.
Yeah.
I was out for maybe like a month or 2.
Yeah.
And then I discovered like, oh, there's strength in exercises, but you don't really know it quite yet. So I did that, and I was like, I'm feeling much more stronger. So I wore the support bands to keep my Achilles in check. And before Christmas, I was like, yeah, I'm back. Let's do this. So I had new gear. I got the Koros Apex. I'm like, right, okay. So I got my Koros. I got new trainers, the Torrens 2s, which I used to do the Solomon X8 Pro 3D.
Oh, Solomon broke my feet.
I found that was the heaviest shoe of them all. I was like, that's 325 grams. I'm like,
they
I'm
hurt
just
my
sitting there
feet.
like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm like, with the Hoka Torrens, it's 270 grams. I'm like, this is way faster than I did usually.
Yeah.
So, so at Christmas, and I was like, right. And then this is the best bit. So I was like, can we, after 50 mile, what can we do? I was like, can I do like a big major race that's the biggest in the calendar? And that's where UTMB comes in. And that, I think, I was like, right. I used to think about, I want like to do triathlons, but no, ultra running is my scene now.
Yeah.
UTMB is where I want to be.
It's the pinnacle, isn't it?
The pinnacle of the running endurance, but not like that, I think it's the pinnacle of my mental strength.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, I know mentally I haven't been strong without running with the autism, but with running, I'm much more mentally stronger. Like I can see things a lot more.
Yeah.
Bit more than others. And I'm like, right, okay. I looked at UTMB. I thought, oh my God, it's actually out there. I'm looking at stuff. I'm like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
So I looked it up. You have to do 109 miles, 33,000 feet of elevation, and you've got to do that within less than 48 hours.
4 countries.
3 actually.
3, sorry, yeah, 3.
I think there's like you got the Swiss Alps, you got the French Alps, and
then Italy, innit?
Yeah, you cross into Italy. You just been the day, and you just went out, literally that's it, out. So I was like, right, I want to be there. Yeah. I literally want to be there, and I'm looking at those people. I'm looking at Courtney Dauwalter, who finished first at the females. I'm looking at the Paul Capel from Spain, and I'm looking at these legends. I'm like, can I actually do this?
Yeah.
And my craziness to kick things singing, well, I don't know, but let's find out.
I'm the same as you.
That's the journey up.
I am honestly on the same page as you. Like, I look at things, right, and I'm like, right, they're doing that. What makes them different to me? Like, what way are they different to me? All right, yeah, they may have had a little bit more training, but if I work hard, I'm sure I can get to UTMB.
Yeah, I know that. I was speaking to, when I was trying to find the torrents, I was actually speaking to some guy in Moti who actually did UTMB, got in, and he actually, it's a very hard process to get in. So it's based on the lottery system, which is not as bad as London Marathon, which, oh God, jeez.
Still haven't got in.
Yeah, I still haven't got in either. To be honest, I give up.
Yeah,
I give up on it.
Same.
I'm like,
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's just for the marathoners and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're going higher for that. So I'm sitting there like, how can I actually get in? And it's a lottery system. But I think what's different about this one is if you try and get into it for some years, you're more likely chance going to get a placement later on.
Yeah, I think if you've been declined for 3 years running, now you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but if you've been declined for 3 years running, then you'll automatically be accepted. However, you have to score 10 UTMB qualifying points. And
that's right, yeah.
There's races all over the world, and there's many in the UK that are graded in different points, whereby Evans Ultra, let's say, if it was a race, 35 mile could be graded 4 points or 3 points, and then 50 milers could be graded 5 points. You need 10 points from 2 races for UTMB, 8 points from 2 races for CCC, and then what's the other one? MTC.
There's loads of different ones. I know.
The CCC, MTB,
UTDS, I think.
That's the one. TDS. There you go.
TDS is the second hardest one of the bunch. It's like you got UTMB as the top, and then you got TDS, which is I think I can't remember what the actual
100 miler, innit? No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's significantly less than that. I can't remember what it was. Maybe about 60, 70-ish.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, and then the CCC is the 100K in it.
And that's the lowest of the bunch. because
Yeah.
I think we've got like 4 races.
Yeah.
So the guy he spoke to, he got into CCC.
Yeah. But Chamonix is unbelievable, isn't it?
No surprise. It's the dream home of ultra running, because you've got so incredible views. It's just absolutely mental.
Yeah. I done a race, right, Dev, in 2011, and I didn't really realize the significance or the beauty of it until many years later. So I run from Spain to France, and it's called it used to be called Costa Brava Extreme Running, spelt with the X rather than the E in the front. And essentially it was 3 days, 3 stages over the coast. No roads, but it was honestly the toughest thing I've ever done. But the most beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And like looking back now, they've changed the name. It's called Costa Brava Staged Race.
All right.
It, honest to God, it is out of this world. And I look at that now, much like I look at Chamonix, and think, wow, that is a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah. We never get that chance to do it again.
Yeah.
That's that sort of thing, because of how really tough it is to get in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so. I looked at for 10 points. I'm like, that's going to be 100 miler, because that's got to be like maximum points. Because I'm like, I can't do 50Ks. I got to do 100 miler. So that's worth maybe 6 or 7 points. So I'm like, right, okay, I need 4 more points to do it. So it might be like a 100K or whatever, and then I'm like, right, okay, I'm sorted.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so I thought that's the goal I really, really wanted, is to go to UTMB and just say, yeah, autistic, may struggle just in life, but I reached one of the highest points.
If you go for it, then like, do you know what I mean? It's just showing people, if you put your mind to something, then there's nothing, there's no stopping you. And this is why now I want to get onto this. We touched base quite some time ago, and I was like, look, I think your story is so inspirational. You need to get this on paper, like ASAP.
Yeah.
Like ASAP, because this could affect so many people that they may not have an understanding of, really, and like they may not think that it's possible for them, but because you've got it down, this could then, and obviously you've touched base with me over the last couple of days, and you've started your second story. But yeah, let's talk about that. How has that progressed?
Okay, so before we dive into the second chapter, I want to lighten some people on the first. So I think I started writing this just after maybe you suggested the idea I should write this as a journal form. So this was probably at the end of 2019. I think was when I started officially writing the journal, and it kept going on and on. So it was a complete journal. So it was like literally just quotes from
everything
I kind of looked up to, some of the feelings, and what I decided to do was I really want to go full hardcore rawness.
Yeah.
No filters whatsoever. This is the actual real thing. And a lot of his stuff is diving deeper into the mental state.
Yeah.
Up here. So that includes, you see stuff about my autism and everything like that. You see how it's affected me.
Yeah.
The journal is meant to represent as a gateway into the soul, me personally. Just to see from your perspective, from your eyes, not mine, your eyes, how I've been dealing with certain situations and whatnot.
And not only how you've moved forward as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So when I finished writing journal, I finished it a few days after my ultra. And so it talks about the people I've been close with. You talk about people like Catherine, my best friend. You talk about Martin's my father figure. And you got some of the adventures with Bob as well. Including the Botleys and the Penavan before lockdown. That actually happened. There's a lot of stuff, but really it's the mentality parts that are the most deeper, because there's a lot of stuff that is not filtered and is completely raw.
Yeah.
So I finished that the day, a few days after my ultra, and it's got its own title page and everything called The Revenant.
The Revenant, yeah.
Got like autism, PDA Harrier, and then the ultra runner.
Yeah.
It's my story of how I started preparation in the winter of 2019 to finally finishing it 11 months down the line to October 2020. So it was an 11-month journal that was building up.
And I take it, right, this second rendition is going to lead right up until qualification for UTMB?
No, so I plan to do it separately. So I kind of want to focus a separate one. So whatever it takes. So the second journal, which is this one here, which I got from my auntie for Christmas. So I thought, right, if I'm going to reach, depending on how long this COVID rubbish thing starts to kind of pan out, I'm just going to write whatever it is. But this time I've started officially writing the second journal, and it's going to be a little bit more deeper with my mindset, but it's going to introduce some of the stuff that you don't see with the first journal. So it's kind of like an expanding on the first journal, but it's much more deeper. So there's the stuff of the lone wolf mentality, which is kind of what I personally see. There's going to be some brand new routes up there. So like the back door to Glencorrwg. You've also got some stuff behind, maybe towards my Stegway. And there's a lot of new stuff that I'm planning to put in, but there's a little bit more of illustration as well. But, so you do get to see a little bit more personally of me in my mental state, but you'll also get to see some of the new stuff I've been preparing for.
So talking about that, with regards to where are you now in your training? Because I can see of late you're starting to put it back in with the mileage, with your training. Your routes, I've got to say, out of everyone, like I don't use Strava anymore. I'm completely off that. But your routes have always been. I look at them and I'll look in depth because I'm like, those are some routes that I want to do. Like when I can, because it's, without sounding, your routes are not the norm. They're not your normal town loops or anything like that. They're out there. They're in places I've probably never been, in the valley, and they're challenging. So where are you now in your training? What have you got planned going forward?
So when you officially, for me, kind of ended in terms of the workload, I was like, right, I'm going to do a 50 mile this year. I've had a really bad year in with uni. I want to do an ultra marathon. This is my reward. This is my reward for putting up with all the rubbish that's happened. This is my time. So I'm looking at the 50. I'm like, I could potentially wait until October, but I'm like, no. I'm not waiting that long because we might go back into lockdown for whatever stupid reason. So I'm like, right, could we do it in the summer? And I was looking at some of the stuff. I'm like, okay, there's a 43 miler from Brecon to Cardiff, technically. That meant to happen earlier this year, but it didn't. So I'm like, I really wanted the 50. It's like, I'll have to make up 7 miler, just go for the extra sake of it. And then I saw the Dragon 50 and the Dragon 100. I'm like, okay, this is closer to home. This is where I want to end up. So it starts at Kenfig Natural Reserve. You pretty much go. It's a coastal route essentially. So it's like, okay, it's 1,700 feet. So I'm like, right, I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. And it's a coastal route, and it actually takes me beyond the Vale of Glamorgan route, which I was originally meant to do. Back in 2020, but it goes all the way up to Cardiff Bay. So cut through Porthcurry and cut through Barry, Ogmore by sea as well, and Porthcawl. And I've been to Porthcawl maybe once. And that was on the Mad Trail with Matthew Blackmore.
That was recent, wasn't it?
He's definitely been one of the best members of my circle. Definitely. That was definitely recent. So I'm like, we're calling it. It's a funny conversation. Me and Blackie just looked at each other and we thought, and he said, right, we're calling this Evans Heaven because it was a sunny day. It was completely out in the open. It was off the cuff as well, wasn't it? It was off the cuff. And I was like, I was looking at the routes and I'm like, oh, this is really getting boring now. I want to do something new. And I was looking at the stuff and like, ooh, can we actually do that? Can I maybe? So I decided to make a loop. And so I said to Blackie, like, do you want to come on just to see what we can do with this? he said, yeah, totally. So he tagged on with it. And it was probably the most beautiful route that you can probably imagine.
Yeah.
It was lush and sunny. It was like you could get to see the sea. So we started outside of the Markham Crematorium, because there's a car park there. So, and we ran past Tata Steel, and then we literally just took a left, and we just keep going up until we get to Rest Bay. And tell you what, it was just lush. It was just, the views were just to die for.
Yeah.
I was like, yep, we are in our element.
Yeah.
Going out was easy, but coming back, it was hot. And I realized immediately that route is going to be used in the Dragon 50. So I was just sitting here like, oh, wow, this is really cool. And that's when the adventure side of me kicked in. I'm like, can we do more of this? So I continuously explore new ideas and new paths. And I think that's the best way to kind of spice things up a bit. Is like, you need to kind of bring new stuff into it. You can't be doing the same old stuff every single weekend.
Yeah.
So that's the idea, really. And you'll see that in the second journal now, is the new mindset of exploring brand new areas and routes.
So I know when the 50 is, but when's the 50 for the viewers?
So it starts, it's on July the 18th. So this is literally 10 days after my birthday. That's a good present, by the way. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
So it's literally July the 18th, and it starts about 7:30 in the morning at Kenfig Natural Reserve.
July the 18th. Am I about? I'm not sure if I'm about. If I'm about, I know I've checked on. So I'm racing an ultra on the 10th. But I'm not sure what the permissions are on having people run with you. I don't think you can.
To be honest with you, I really don't know. I've been asking the organisers about it for the last few days, because I actually had a question about some of the equipment stuff, which I was like, do I need waterproof trousers on the hot sunny day?
Yeah.
And I don't think that's even possible. But I wanted to ask, because I know for a fact I definitely want to use the same people for my last ultra, which is Catherine.
Yeah.
She's available, whatever. And I haven't even received a response since then. So I might know a little bit closer to the time.
Yeah.
If we're actually going to go for it, which I don't know.
Well, so who's running your one? What company?
At the moment, I think I noticed several of the Harriers are there. So I'm like, right, consider the fact I've been away from the club for about a year.
Yeah.
I've already got some of the boys in. Ben Hughes is definitely running it.
Yeah.
Some of the boys I didn't even know, just know Richard Clark, I think, is definitely one of them on the list. True. But I think in terms of the people under the club at the Harriers, there's only 3 of us doing it.
Yeah. So I got a race on the 10th, and it's been organised by Run Walk Crawl, and they organised a race last weekend, which went ahead.
No, it wasn't last weekend. It was maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago. It was the Brecon Beacons Black 54.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe 2 weeks ago, and that went ahead. So fingers crossed that.
Yeah, I know that. I think the Rasty Sant also happened a few weeks ago as well.
Yeah.
Because I know Bill won it when he came first.
Yeah.
So I'm like, right, okay, that condition is met. But I'm like, there's another race that's happening on the 10th, which is yours.
Yeah.
I think Celtic Trail?
Celtic Trail, yeah. 5,000
feet.
Isn't that the one
that starts at Goitra? And you just keep going up.
Up and up and up and up to Aberdare. 5,000 feet.
That used to be a Christmas route.
31 miles.
I was going to say, that's a Christmas route, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because that happens in December.
Usually, yes. It's got delayed. It got delayed. But yeah, I went out and done a recce a couple of weeks ago. From Goitra, only to Bryn, 8 miles. And I think I covered like 512 meters, which is probably about 1,800 feet in 8 miles.
That's not too bad then. That's not too bad.
It's tough going. So fingers crossed that those races go ahead anyway, innit?
Well, I hope so, because I've been waiting about a year and a half now for my first ever official ultra. It'll be my second ultra, realistically, but it'll be
your first official, and it's going to be a 50.
Yeah. And it'll be a 50, which a lot of people will think, aren't you supposed to do a 50K? I'm like, I did that. That's my baby now. And literally, it's called the Revenant's Playground. Maybe it become an official race one day. I doubt it. Anyway, it's just probably a one-off special. But
why not? Why not?
It's my baby anyway, so no one's touching it. And so that's going to happen on July 18th. Again, question whether it's going to go ahead. If it does go ahead, I hope so.
Yeah.
But the only question is, could I maybe potentially use support runners because it's so isolated?
Yeah.
Can I maybe fit someone on there? And what the COVID regulations are like with that in aspect? Because I know for a fact that the COVID regulations are incredibly tough on those events.
Yeah, I'll be able to tell you once we've done.
Please let me know because I need to get my plans in place.
How funny is that? We'll Ultra Bob's calling me.
Oh God. Speaking of devil,
Isn't it mad? Isn't it mad?
I know. Coincidence, isn't it? Scary coincidence.
It's crazy. Like
it's funny because I actually had a text from Bob. I think it was maybe yesterday, as I was coming back from my run with Jamie Landers in the club, and he said, "Oh, I've just been on your mountain." I'm like, "Yeah, my playground, you mean?" the first time you ever done the fall, and I know he'd done Dina's before, but he never done the fall. But
to talk about him, and he just texts. He's ringing. That's mad.
You're gonna have to explain it to us now after the podcast.
I know, innit? I suppose to wrap up there. Obviously, your ultimate goal is UTMB, and you're going to be heavily working towards that. And there's going to be races. God knows how many you're going to do before that to qualify.
Oh God, I think in my mindset, it's like a ladder. You just have to take it one little step at a time. So 50K was the first little step.
Yeah.
Okay, 50. Now we're going to go 100K.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go 100 mile up, master that.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to start the conquest to get to UTMB.
Yeah.
Which will probably take maybe about 4 or 5 years, maybe.
That's the time scale that I'm working off is.
Yeah.
If I can hit UTMB by the time I'm 40, so I'm 36 now. How old are you, Evs? 21.
I'm 25 next month.
25. There you go.
I shiver to think. I'm like, oh my God, I'm literally 25 years in, and I still have no idea what I'm doing.
If you're saying, let's say UTMB by the time you're 30, for me UTMB, who knows? We could be the same one. That'd be outstanding.
That'll be mental. Just like literally one Batobal Harrier doing it and one vet I runner doing it. That
would be the golden ticket, the two of us. So yeah, I think the timescale for me is by the time I'm 40, I want to be qualified and running. So probably rejected once and hopefully get in on a second go. So that means
it might even take you up to the third or fourth go, I would have thought.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if I can bang out,
very tricky to get into after the first rejection.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see what these races are doing with the restrictions and stuff.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. But I don't know. I'd like to say we'd be lucky if we actually going to get through it. Yeah,
well, we'll have to cross our fingers and our toes. But to wrap up, like I always do with everyone, first of all, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast and going through your running story, because I followed it pretty much from.
Well, you were pretty much there.
Yeah, I've been there from the start pretty much. But what bit of, if you could speak to yourself now, this is something that always makes people reflect, is if you could speak to yourself and you were starting again running, what advice would you give yourself and why?
What advice? Now, I'm probably the harshest person I know when it comes to myself, because autism up here. So I know I'm the harshest, and that comes like from several experiences in the past. I would definitely say this is going to be the journey you're on. The journey you're on is going to be the most rewarding journey you've probably been on. That's excusing the weight loss and all that sort of stuff. But the running journey you're going on, wait till you get to the top. Wait till you get to the top. You will thank us later.
Yeah, and yeah, that's magic. As Evans just said there, like he hasn't even mentioned the weight loss or anything or the benefits, or because it's been a natural progression for him.
I think it just goes up and down. Like if you're injured, you put on the weight.
Yeah.
But I think if you start training, like I said, I think I was looking at myself and I'm like, how skinny was I? And I'd never taken food.
Yeah.
Just took a walk, no gels, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was shredded. I was like a large or coming up to an extra large. Now I'm a medium.
Yeah.
It's all part of the game, really.
Yeah, and that's it. This consistency in the training, that is gonna.
That's the key. That's the key.
If you're not consistent, then it's going to be a lot harder for you, I think.
I think as long as you keep a good rhythm in terms of like your routine, as long as your routine is solid and it doesn't change, you're gonna smash your goals. That's not a problem. The question is, can you be consistent, dedicated, and also stuff? And you see that with my journal. In fact, the first journal I know is still with caffeine, as far as I know.
Yeah.
But I probably will start writing the second one. Well, still writing the second one anyway. So that's now draft wise. But when the second journal is done, it's hard to say. I mean, it could maybe towards the end of the year. That's when you probably might see the second journal come out.
Yeah.
Would I maybe potentially do it as a digital format?
Yeah.
It's a big possibility, but it's going to be quite a bit longer. So we'll wait and see.
And final words, Evs.
Final words.
Yeah.
This is the closing remarks now.
Yes.
Yeah, my name's Evan Smith, the Revenant.
Where can people find you?
Oh, where people can find me? Oh, definitely Port Talbot with something like that, something stupid. Or the mountains, whatever, you can find me up there. But my Instagram account is at running_the Revenant. That's where you'll find me.
I'll put if I can, my magic, it'll be under Evan where he's sat right now.
Yep.
Is your Strava public or private?
I believe it could be private, but you'll see my runs on the Instagram stuff anyway, so you can always see my personal thoughts. And you also see a little bit more of a deeper side to me personally that I normally tend to share on my personal account. But you will find me, of course, with the Revenant. Give me a follow. Like I said, you can always obviously message me if you want any particular advice or whatever. By the way, it's not official. It's just unlicensed. It's like, don't hold it against me. That's just my personal thought on whatever your issue is.
Exactly that. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to myself and Evan talk about the running journey. Big thanks to Evs for coming up.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate that.
And who knows, maybe some races together moving forward as we try and climb onto that UTMB train.
Yep, we shall have to wait and see, brother. If we could jump onto the UTMB train and actually do the race, I think that'll be one hell of a good weekend to do.
Perfect. Guys, don't forget, if you have enjoyed the video, if you are watching on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you now in a minute.
See you after, boys.